guys, today's video is a collab, and it is a different kind of collab than I've ever done before. Let me tell you a little bit about who it's with and kind of give you a little rundown of what it's going to be. So a couple months ago, I stumbled across a channel because I was actually looking for looks done with the Urban Decay Naked Wild West palette, because it's just the color story of it intrigued me. And so I was kind of looking at a bunch of different videos, different types of channels from, you know, bigger, I don't usually watch a lot of bigger YouTubers, but if there's like a palette I'm really interested in, I will watch like a variety of people. So I happened upon this channel, and she was actually doing a giveaway with it, which I didn't even enter because I had actually entered one on a different channel. I'm always afraid, like, I guess I could just say, oh no, that's okay, thank you, pick somebody else if I want to, but I don't know, it just makes me feel weird. So I did not enter her giveaway for that palette, but I loved the look she did with it. And so I decided to subscribe to her. Her name is Holly Ann. Her channel is Holly Ann Beauty. And so she's very new to me. I'm new to her. We're just getting to know each other. She did a video with the Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette, which is a palette that I have looked at for a very long time, and it's always sold out. It's out of my budget because if you know me, I'm a budget girl, and my channel is premised on being glam on a budget. And so when she was doing a giveaway of that palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to enter this giveaway. And I won. So I'm so thankful. And there's other beautiful things that she sent with that giveaway, which you are going to be seeing a video very soon about that. So she will already be familiar to you when I show you that video, because I'm going to be doing a look with that palette and that kind of stuff. So you can be looking forward to that. But yeah, like I said, she is fairly new to me and I'm new to her. So we're just getting to know each other. But after I won her giveaway, she was like, hey, would you like to collab together? And so I was like, okay, let's do it. So she came up with the idea to do half and half. So we're going to do half of our face high-end, half of our face drugstore. And we're going to do an 8-hour wear test and see what holds up better. You know, is it really worth it to buy high-end products? Little caveat here. I don't have a lot of high-end products because, like I said, I'm a girl on a budget. So that's just not really my thing. But I do have some amazing samples, and I do have some beautiful high-end things that people have sent to me. So I'm like, okay, I think I can make this work, you know? So it's not going to be 100% high-end on the side, but we're working on it, okay? So just give me a little grace there. I am not going anywhere today. I'm just going to be cleaning my house, so my face will get good, you know, it'll be a good wear test because I'll be busy doing things, not just like sitting around. So if I sweat a little or something, we'll see what happens with the makeup there. So I just have my Life Without Jesus is like Mornings Without Coffee t-shirt on, because let's be real, there's no point in life without Jesus, and if I can't have coffee in the morning, don't even bother waking me up. So basically that's me in a nutshell. But yeah, so I am just ready to put this beautiful makeup on my face, and we're gonna see how things end up wearing. We're gonna do eyes first. So I'm gonna use my trusty, tried and true Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer on my right side. So my right side is gonna be my drugstore side. If you know me, you know this is my absolute favorite primer, eyeshadow primer. And then I'm gonna use this Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. There's some things that are just not gonna be legit high-end because I just don't have them. And I certainly wasn't going to go out and buy a bunch of high-end stuff because that is not my life, kids, not my life. But yeah, so let's just see. So far this one feels not as matte kind of as my Wet n Wild one does, but we'll see. And so we're going to do eyes first. And I thought I went for what high-end eyeshadow palette I wanted first, and then went to find colors that were similar in drugstore. So I chose the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette for my high-end palette because that is high-end and it's beautiful. And so it looks like this. And then for my drugstore palettes, I chose two of my Profusion palettes. I chose the Rubies and Citrine because they have similar shades in them. So I'm going to use similar shades and put those on my eyes, and yeah, so we'll see. So let me go ahead and speed into that.
Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without.
Okay, now that we have that part of my eyes done, we're gonna get into the face stuff, and then we'll revisit the eyes once we get that stuff done. But so far, they're looking pretty close in the shades. I'm happy that I found shades that were very similar, so I don't look like I have two completely different colored eyes. Okay, so let me push my hair back. Here's where things get a little interesting. So I am going to use my CoverGirl True Blend Base Business. It's a skin primer color neutralizer. I use this like every day. Do I think it's anything phenomenal? No, but I like it, and so I'm using it up. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do that on my drugstore side. And then for my high-end side, again, this is not a high-end product, but it's more expensive than drugstore. This is the Pure Correcting Primer. So we're gonna use that. Okay, next comes foundation. This one again is a little tricky because I do not have high-end foundation, but I do have some high-end samples. So that's what we're doing there. I'm gonna use on my drugstore side, the Wet n Wild Skin Tint that I have been using and loving lately. And I'm mixing two colors because this was when I was lighter before I was tan, and this is when I'm tan, but this is a little bit too dark. So the two of them together make a pretty good like match for my skin. And then I will show you what the high-end will be. Okay, washed my hand off good. And now for the high-end side, hopefully the colors are gonna somewhat match, but so hopefully you can see then the coverage. It's more of a light. I've been liking skin tints and BB creams and stuff instead of like a heavy look. I feel like heavy foundation ages you, and I'm aging, and we all are, but you know what I mean. And also with summer coming and I have super oily skin, heavy foundation is just a big no for me. But so this is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Glow Foundation. And this one is 5N312. And so I'm hoping that this shade is going to be a good match. And I figured the size of this should be good for half of my face. So yeah, it looks pretty similar to what I just put on. So let's see what we can do here. Wow, that color match was really dang good. And this feels very nice and light. It's not like a heavy coverage. So this side might be slightly darker, but from distance, I don't feel like you can tell too much. At least I can't in person. I don't know how the camera picks it up, but okay. So then we are moving on to concealer. Sorry, I'm wiping my hand on a makeup eraser over here to get that off. And for my drugstore side, I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay. Looks like this full coverage under eye concealer. And I don't use a ton of concealer. Actually, lately I haven't been using any because with the tan, I don't feel like I need it that much. But for the sake of the video, I thought I would. So I'm just going to put it in the places that I normally would kind of put it. Like I've got some little spots over here, and I've got my lovely, as soon as I get in the sun, my hyperpigmentation that happens. And then I'm just going to put a little under my eye, but not too much, and a little on my chin, because my chin tends to be red, and around my nose right there. So that is that. Okay, and you will notice I use my fingers to my hands to apply my foundation and my concealer. I feel like the warmth of your fingers just does a really good job of spreading things around, and it gives me a more natural finish. I feel like I've never been a huge sponge person. I mostly would use brush for foundation, but I find that my hands, I feel like, do a better job. I can get in everywhere with my fingers better than with a brush or anything, so that's what I've been doing. And then I have a sample of the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric High Coverage Stretchable Concealer. So that is what we are going to use on the high-end side. So see, I do have some high-end stuff. Not all of it, but I hope Holly won't be disappointed that I don't have a ton of, well, I told her I didn't, but, you know, I think she's probably doing all high-end, and so it won't be, you know, exactly the same, but I think it'll be good, right? All right, let's put this on. Don't know what the color. Now I obviously have this weird blood vessel thing that I got after I had my youngest son, which I keep thinking about going and getting blasted off. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it bugs me, sometimes I just don't care, but okay. So in all the places where I typically put concealer. Okay, with that concealer, a little bit goes a very long way, which is cool. So I had to switch fingers to not totally overdo under my eye there, but there's the difference there. Looking pretty similar. This one, I think, does have more coverage, but the shade is pretty close. I think this might be slightly more brightening, which is funny because I didn't think it was going to be, but all right. Now onto powders. So this thing looks terrible because I use it all the time. It is my Coty Airspun Translucent Extra Coverage, and this, it's almost gone, guys. It's almost gone. I love this stuff, and we'll probably repurchase it because even when I try other powders, they don't really do it for me. So we'll see with the one that I use for the high end. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this on my powder brush here, and we are gonna go in, powder up. Okay, and then I just cleaned off my powder brush, and for the high-end side, the highest end powder I had was the Laura Mercier, and I've never used this before, and people talk about it all the time, and this is the translucent. Okay, so we are powdered, and then next we are going to do, let's do something that is boring to me. We're going to do eyebrows. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I get the neutral brown shade, and I constantly have a backup of these. As soon as I'm finishing one, I buy another one, so there's always one in my drawer to pull. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, I go very simple with brows. Sometimes I put some clear brow gel in them, but that's how I do a brow. Like, that's all you're getting from me. All right, so for the high-end side, I do have a high-end product. It is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil in dark brunette. So I have not used this before. I have no idea what the shade is going to be like compared to the one I typically use, because I do like how the neutral is the neutral brown is a cooler tone brown. So we will see how this one does. No, I really like the tone of this one too. Ooh, that's nice. That is a nice brow pencil. Okay. So, good deal there. Wasn't as boring as eyebrows usually are. That's fun. Okay, next up we are going to do bronzer. So I wanted to find ones that were similar in shades. I only have one high-end bronzer, and you know, so I was trying to look for a shade that was similar to it. Let me open it so I make sure I go into the right one for my drugstore one. So my high-end is this Estee Lauder Estee Edit, and it's the Barest bronzer in medium deep. It might be a little dark for me, I know, but when I got it, I was just very excited. And if you go on light-handed, you can make pretty much anything work. And I'm going to use my bronzing brush, this Eco Tools one that Jessica Braun recommended, because she's like the only bigger YouTuber I watch, and because it doesn't pick up so much at a time, since it's more like that microfiber, so you have less of a chance of making yourself look like a crazy person. All right, so I'm going to use in this for my drugstore side, this Catrice California in a Box bronzer and blush palette. I'm going to use this darker, and I don't think it has, no, it doesn't have a name, but it's just this darker bronzer right here, because it's most like the shade in there, so it's a little warmer. And cleaning off my brush. And then I'm going to go into that Estee Lauder one for my high-end side. I think they look pretty comparable. So yay, and I'm so excited to use this because I haven't used it since last summer because I need to be, obviously, dark. My skin needs to be dark to use it. So I am excited about that. I'm going to be pulling that out to be using right now. Okay. So then we are going to go into, I have been liking how people have been putting highlight on before their blush. For some reason, I feel like it, I don't know, it just makes it look a little more natural. So that is what I'm going to do. So for my highlight, I'm going to use, for the drugstore side, my trusty, tried and true favorite highlight ever. And that is the Essence Pure Nude. And yeah, I love this stuff. I've been using it. I use it every day. Been using it for over a year, and maybe even more than that. And this thing like just keeps on going and going and going. It's awesome. I bought one for my son's girlfriend, and she loves it. So let's put that on. Okay, so there's that. Cleaning off my brush. And we're gonna use, for the high-end side, this is as high-end as I have for highlight. Wow. It's the Becca Champagne Pop. So we are gonna do that one on this side, which I know is a glitterier formula. I should try to open it from the right side. But we'll just try to make that work. It is stunning. I shouldn't say glitterier. It's not glittery. It's just more luminous. So you need a lot less of it. Like one dip of that compared to like 3 of this one, you know, makes about the same. So I thought it would look crazy to have 2 different, you know, on the sides of my Cupid's bow, but it actually is working out just fine. All right. And then, so let's go to blush. And for blush, I am going to be using the, again, I had to go for something that was similar in tone to my high-end, which isn't super high-end because it's Anastasia Beverly Hills, so that's not high-end, but you know, that's as high-end as I have in blush. So I wanted a shade that was similar to that. So I am going to be using, for my drugstore side, this Maybelline New York. It's the Master Blush Color and Highlight Kit. And I'm going to be using this shade right here. All right, cleaning off my brush. Now I do realize this this bleach? No. This blush color is a little cool for the warm eye look that I have, but when I was trying to find something that would match comparably in shades, this is what I had. So that's what I'm doing. Actually, I just realized I went into the wrong one that I even meant to, because the one next to it is very similar. These shades are, let me show you them next to each other so you can see what I mean. So these are the two palettes. I meant to do that more corally shade and I did the pink one, but whatever. Okay, so into that similar pink shade and this ABH blush trio, and this is Pink Passion is the name of the trio. I don't know, what do you think? Should I go back into that more peachy shade on top? I think I am. I cleaned my brush off, so I'm gonna go into the little more peachy shade. Doesn't look peachy there, but in person it's more peachy than pink. And we'll just go over real fast to kind of tone down some of that, you know, really cool pink. And now into this one. I don't know if it made any difference at all, but we'll just pretend it did, okay? Okay. Now we are going to go back into the eyes. So I am going to shut my tray up and just show you again.
Giving a warning, I'm leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. Nothing like goes, don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie.
Okay, now we are going for liner, and I'm just gonna do black. I don't typically do this, but I'm gonna do black in my waterline too, because I only have like a more high-end black color, where I like to wear a lot of like colored liners in my lower, you know, in my waterline, but I don't have high-end like that. So we are just gonna go with black. I just blew a bubble. That's new. That's new for my llama self. I spit a lot, so I call myself a llama. But yeah, I just blew a bubble. Hopefully you guys saw that. Maybe I can catch it in editing. So for my drugstore side, I am using the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner, and it is in the shade Blackout. So it looks like this. So I am going to tightline my upper lash line here, and then go on my waterline. I don't know if I'll show when I tightline, because sometimes people are grossed out by that, so. It's crazy what eyeliner does to a look. Look how much smaller this eye looks. That's why I don't really put black in my waterline, but for the sake of this, we are. And then this is not, again, super high-end or anything, but it's more high-end than LA Girl. And this is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion. For lashes, I am going to use, I'm going to curl my lashes first, and then I'm going to use, on my drugstore side, this Maybelline Total Temptation Waterproof Mascara. And for my high-end side, I am using the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. This is a sample one, but you get the idea. All right, and then lips, and this should be fun because half and half, and I tried to pick colors that were as similar as I possibly could. So for the drugstore side, I'm going to use this Revlon. It's a matte lipstick, and it's in the shade Superstar Brown, which is 50. So this is what the packaging looks like. Looks like this. I have never used it before, and I don't really wear brown lipstick, so here we go. Okay, so there's that. And then for the high-end side, I have this Marc Jacobs. It's a lip cream, and it's in 230 J'adore. So it looks like this. Again, have not used it before, and so let's see. Okay, not quite as dark, but not a super stark contrast either. I have to say I definitely prefer the shape of the Revlon better than this one, because the round, it makes it very hard to get like to the edges of your lips. And I have very like pointed like Cupid's bow area, and so I much prefer like a very like pointed end on a lipstick. But okay, so there's that. And then what's next? Oh, I want to go back in. I always do a double curl, double coat of mascara, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and the look is finished. It is 1:36, so we are going to start the wear test from this time. And so let me come up and show you everything up close. You can see my forehead, what it looks like, my eyes, nose area, and cheeks, my chin, my lips. So I'm actually really impressed at how close the eyes look. I don't think you'd ever know that I have two different palettes on my eyes. Even the lips, even though they're not perfectly, it's not super stark. Obviously, these are what a matte and a cream, is it cream? Yeah, lipstick. So they're not going to last a long time, but I'm not going to be eating for a little while anyway. So I will let you know how that goes, and we will be doing check-ins. So let's just see what happens here. So far, I'm having some serious fun with this. Okay, here we are for our first check-in. So this is at the 4-hour mark. It is 5:38, and my oils are out in full force. But that's what my face does. I have really oily skin. There's nothing I can do about it. And in fact, I don't even really hate it that much as I did when I was younger, because everyone's like, you're lucky to have oily skin. It means your wrinkles will show much later. I'll take it. So I am very oily. Doesn't matter what I put on my face, what products, I always have to touch up with powder or use blotting tissues or whatever. So please ignore that, or don't think that's something to do with the makeup. It just does it with everything. So I'm going to come forward and show you forehead, eyes, around my nose, and my cheeks, my lips. You may notice I still have some lip on, and I have to say, on my chin, because my chin gets real red. But things are looking, besides my oiliness, things are looking fantastic. I have been drinking out of this cup, as you can see by evidence on my straw. And my husband made some chicken earlier that I ate. And I just took a drink out of a glass of his iced coffee that he made. And my lips still look like that at the 4-hour mark. And let me tell you about, my face might be extra oily right now because I've been on a cleaning mission. I got in and scrubbed both of our showers, and cleaning the bathrooms really good and stuff like that. So I'm doing like some serious cleaning today. And so I definitely can't complain about what my makeup looks like. So yeah, I will see you back for our final check-in and our final thoughts. Who is that greasy girl? That's me. That's me. Oh girl. I'm greasy as greasy can be. But like I said, this is what happens with any makeup. If I do not powder throughout the day or use blotting, rice paper, blotter oil bladder things, you know what I'm saying? And so this is just a little taste of what my skin likes to do. I definitely have that glow going, don't I? So I'm gonna come up close and show it to you, everything again. Oh, I should tell you, the time is 9:36. So we are at our 8-hour mark. And so, yeah, let me come up close and show you. Forehead looks good. Nothing gathered in my 11s, which is, and let's see. So my eyes, oh, I'll close them. Look pretty good. Around my nose and my cheeks, yes, greasy, but nothing's like fading, blotchy, weird. Not on my chin either. And my lips, they're looking a little crusty, but you know, that's to be expected because I never reapplied and there's still this much color, and actually they're not looking that crusty. I'm actually pretty impressed with how that wore. So how they both wore, actually. Okay, I cannot speak to you anymore with this shine. So we are gonna use my Rimmel Stay Matte, and we are gonna sop up a little of this oil because I can't even stand to look at myself. It's gonna be killer during editing to see my greasy face from the last check-in and this one. Because I'm good with a little natural shine, but honey, that was something else. So, what are the main things that I noticed during this wear test? I would say both of the foundations and concealers were great. There's nothing weird that happened with them. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, I feel like a human being again. And the eyes, definitely. This one maybe a tiny bit, the shimmer shadow on the lid, looks like maybe it went away a tiny bit right there, but nothing really noticeable. Like, it's nothing I would go, oh, you know, like that looks distinctly different. I do think that the LA Girl Shockwave eyeliner actually held up better than the Urban Decay, the Perversion liner. I mean, not a ton. It's not like this faded really bad or anything, but this one just seems to have held up slightly better. So I'd say they're pretty comparable. So should you spend the money on the Urban Decay? I'm saying no. Go for the LA Girl one. And honestly, the biggest shocker to me out of this whole thing was the eyeshadow, because until doing this and specifically taking a high-end palette and then looking to see what else I had in my collection that, you know, would dupe it, I never would have realized that in these Profusion palettes, I had like colors to make a look that you would never know that I had two different palettes on my eyes. So $65 palettes or two $5 palettes. So $10 or $65. You decide which one seems more worth it to you. Otherwise, everything else I feel like wore very comparably. So again, the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush or the Maybelline blush, the Essence Pure Nude highlight or the Becca, you know, Champagne Pop highlight. I don't really think that, I mean, I got just as oily from, you know, with wearing the Laura Mercier powder or the Coty Airspun. Like I said, I don't think there's a powder out there that can do anything differently, or a, I use mattifying primers sometimes, and so it doesn't matter. Like, my skin just produces a ton of oil, and that's just the way it is. And so you can't fight it. You just work with it. And today I did not. I just let it roll. But the mascara actually both held up really well. I don't think you can tell much of a difference between the two. So Lancome, however you say it, or Maybelline, like, you know, it's like, makes you think, doesn't it? The lips, I got a little spot right there. Now, let me tell you too, I have drank out of a straw, like I showed you earlier, did more drinking out of a straw, drank out of a cup. I ate dinner, all that with the slip on, or these lip colors on, and they stayed that well. So I am super impressed with them. Marc Jacobs on this side and Revlon on this side. You guys, I really can't say that one looked like it wore better than the other or was more comfortable than the other, anything like that. And the shades are so similar. And so overall, I would have to say from this little experiment, if you will, here, that I don't think high end is worth more. I feel like that in general in life though. Like, I feel like designer things, you're paying for a name. You are not necessarily paying for quality. I know people want to believe that they are, and in some things, yes. But overall, most things you can find something comparable for much less. And so it just depends on what you like. If you like designer things, I'm not knocking you. If you like high-end makeup, I'm not knocking you. It's not me. And I know it's not a lot of other people either. And so it makes me excited to be able to show people who don't have a budget for things like that, that you don't need it. I mean, this stuff works just as well. Pick up these two $5 palettes and you have the same look that you can get with this Natasha Denona palette. So it's like, you know, this is very exciting to me. So Holly, thank you for this idea, because I never did try anything like this before, and I'm very excited with what the results are. And I put this makeup through the ringer today because the really like motivated and you know, feeling like I'm gonna accomplish something Danielle doesn't come out all that often, and when she does, she's completely unrealistic and thinks she can get a whole lot done that she can't. And so I was like busting butt around the house, and still my house looks like a tornado went through it, but that's okay. But so I put my makeup through some work today, and it looks good if you ask me. Like, I think it looks good. So you guys let me know what you think. And I can't wait to see Holly's video and how her makeup turns out, what products she used, what kind of conclusions she comes to. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Did you think that something looked better than the other that I'm just not seeing? Or do you still think that the more high-end are more worth it than the drugstore? Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to hear. And so I thank you guys so much for watching. Please head over to Holly's channel and check out what she did. I can't wait to see. And yeah, and if you're here from Holly's channel, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you'll want to stick around. So if you guys could please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye.